Want to add a little extra cuteness to your sewing space? Let me show you how to make this cute chicken pincushion right now. This project is perfect for scraps or mini charms because we need 2.5-inch squares. So here's everything you're going to need. You're going to want to choose 8 2.5-inch squares for the body of the chicken. There's going to be 4 for each side. You're going to need 1 square for the top cone, 1 square for the beak, and 1 square for the tail. There's going to be some filler. I like to use lizard litter. It's really crushed walnut shells. You can get it at PetSmart, Petco. I even think Walmart. I like this the best. And we'll need needle and thread to sew the bottom closed at the end, and 2 4.5-inch batting squares. Okay, the first thing we do need to do is cut our comb and our beak down to 1.5-inch square. So let's do that. I'm going to stack them together and cut them at the same time, 2 1.5-inch squares. 1.5. Chop it off. Boom, just like that. Next step, we're going to have to iron these 2 into prairie points plus the tail. So let's go to the iron. So here we are at the iron. I think I said to press the comb into a prairie point too, but that is not what we're going to do. You're just going to press him straight in half. Easy peasy on the first part. Right? So the piece on top, press him straight in half. The beak and the tail, we're going to press into prairie points. So the first in half on the diagonal, and then in half one more time. Whoop. So there's your beak, and then we'll do the same thing for the tail. So 2.5-inch square here. Those were 1.5. Fold this in half on the diagonal. Press in half again. And there we go. So your next thing is you need to make your little body panels. So you want to make 2 4-patch blocks. You made your 4 patches, and now you got to quilt them. So you get those 4.5-inch batting squares from the beginning and just line them up. And you can quilt it however you want. I have just been going 1/4 inch down off each seam. Okay, all our pieces are prepped, right? You got your 2 body panels ready to go, comb, beak, and our tail. So we take each side and we're just going to place it right sides together. We want to sew the bottom edge first. We want to leave a 1.5-inch-ish gap in the middle, okay? So I'm going to move that to the side. Show you one more time. I know this is my top, how I want it to be, and I want this to be the bottom, okay? Right sides together. I'm going to sew this piece first. Line them up as best you can. I'm just going to start sewing and then come off the edge. Start off the edge, 1/4 inch. I'm going to stop about there. And then I'm going to come down and just stop. See, okay, so I'm going to flip it over now and come in from the other edge. About the same thing, I'll stop about there. And then just sew down. Okay? First side sewn. We got to get a hole in the middle. Now, we got to put our beak in. So grab your beak. This is going to be the beak edge. You got to point him in. Make sure the folds are pointing down towards your little hole side. Okay? And we want to put him in about 1/4 inch down from the top. I'm going to pinch that in there. Right, and to sew, I'm going to bring it into the machine like this. So right off the edge, we're going to sew all the way down with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And make sure your beak's just sitting up in there. Here we go. All the way down the edge. Cut. Side number 2 is sewn. There's your little beak, right? Hole in the bottom. Time for the top. So now we put the comb in, and this time we actually want the raw edges to go inside and the folded edge to line up on the outside edge here. So you're just going to put him in there all the way up as far as he'll go into that seam. Okay, fold that down, and then we're going to do the same thing. 1/4 inch seam all the way down this side. Here we go. Okie dokie. Now it's time for his little butt. Time to sew the tail in. Okay, so here's the trickiest part. This is your bottom that we're going to hand sew closed and turn it right side out left. This is our last side. Instead of sewing straight down like this, we got to pinch him open so he's kind of like a little pyramid shape, and then sew. So pinch it open. Take your tail with the point facing in. You can have the fold going either way. That doesn't really matter this time. Okay, but you kind of want to line up that point with the middle seam there as best you can. And I'm going to take this one on top, right? These two seams here, line them up as best you can, and then we're going to sew this straight across, just like we've been doing. 1/4 inch seam all the way down the side. Whoop. All right, good. See, this is what you're left with. Sewn all the way down, all around. There's your hole, and we're going to flip them out. Okay, so you want to flip them right side out, but before you do that, I do like to clip my corners. Just makes them a little more pointy when you push them out. Go all around. Careful not to cut through the seams, but just chop the little edges off, right off the corner. Okay, here's our hole in the bottom, and we're going to flip them around. Oh, here we go. We got a tail. Corners out. Here comes the top and the beak. Yeah, the little front. I like to take a tool to really poke out all the little corners too. We're almost there. Isn't she cute? Oh my. Okay, let's fill it up. Okay, so to fill it up, right, I told you I like to use that lizard litter, crushed walnut shells, and it's much easier to do with a funnel. So I just take a piece of paper and roll it up, stick it right down in there, open the baggie, and start pouring. Here we go. Woo! Right? See how it kind of sits up in there? You got to like shake it down in a little bit to get it down in the cushion. Shaky, shaky, shaky. So you just keep filling it. And I like to fill it really pretty tight in there. So you just keep shaking it and filling it. Okay, you've got them all full. Like I have it stuffed as much as I can. See in there? Just kind of pinch it closed. Right? Pinch it, matches up. And we're going to sew it up. Right? So I'm going to sew down and then actually sew back, knot it up, and then it'll be finished. There you have it, guys. Sew the bottom up. Mine's not perfect, but nobody's seeing it because she sits like that, right? Isn't it cute? Your very final step, you can put pins anywhere you want in her, but I like to take 2 little black ones and shove them up here for her eyes so she really looks like a chicken. Just push them right in there. Make sure they don't poke out the other sides. And there you go. Aren't they adorable? Right, guys? I hope you really like this tutorial as much as I did. They are so fun. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.